Welcome to ISE's FX Options Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on the US dollar versus the major currencies, hosted by Jason Ayres, a top industry instructor and founder of OptionSource.net. Learn to trade your views on the strength or weakness of the US dollar.
Hi there and welcome to the ISE FX Options Weekly Outlook for December 22nd to the 28th. I'm your host, Jason Ayres, founder and president of OptionSource.net, and as always, we're going to start with a look at our weekly U.S. dollar index. This is a great way to gain some perspective as to how the U.S. dollar has been trading against a basket of currencies. Now, we saw a break below the 84-85 focal zone last week, which did support the probability of a test of that lower support here within that 81 to 82 focal area. Now, the U.S. dollar rate decrease added to those further declines as the index actually plunged through this key support level to test an even lower focal zone within that 77 to 78 area. Now, we can see here that the U.S. dollar was able to regain some ground with a strong retracement back into that 81 to 82 area. Now, although a retest of this 84 to 85 focal zone is a possibility, we have to recognize that the U.S. dollar is now trading in a lower range against most of the major currencies. If support is not maintained within this area here at the 81 to 82 focal zone, then we are looking for another breakdown towards that lower support within the 77 to 78. Now, a quick look at our our daily snapshot of the U.S. dollar index does show the strength of last week's decline with the 81 to 82 box here representing a natural retracement of the bearish move that started up at the 88 level several weeks ago. First up in our ISE FX Options Outlook is the pair value CDD, the U.S. versus the Canadian dollar. Now, we were looking at the possibility of the U.S. dollar finding some support in at the 122 to 124 level. However, we did suggest that a break below would likely test that 116 to 118 focal zone. We clearly see that last week's decline in the U.S. dollar found some support in here slightly above that area. Now, at this point, we are looking at the 124 to 126 box as being a natural retracement zone and expect some consolidation to take place here. A rejection from this area would suggest that another test of the important level, support level within the 115 to 118 focal zone is a high probability. Okay, let's take a look at the YUK, the U.S. versus the Japanese yen. Now, we were looking for some consolidation within the 91.5 to 92.5 focal zone. However, we did suggest that a break below that range would likely find support down at the 88 to 89 level, which has been on our radar for quite some time now. As you can see here, we did trade down within that focal zone and did find some support. We've had a little bit of a bounce here. Now, at this point, a natural retracement would see us testing this 91 and a 92 to 92.5 level as an area of resistance. Now, Friday's close now suggests that there was some signs of weakness, lending credibility to the possibility for even further declines within this pair value. A break below that box will have us now targeting the 83 to 85 area. Last week's close below the 75-76 zone in the EUI, the US versus the Euro, suggested that the pair value was likely to test the 72 to 73 area. In a similar display to that of the dollar index itself, the EUI cut through this level to finally find some support within that 67 to 68 focal zone. At this point, we are seeing a natural retracement and expect some consolidation between the 72 to 74 box. A rejection here will suggest that another test of the 67 to 68 box is a high probability. Let's take a quick look at the BPX, the U.S. versus the British pound. Now, the pair value has been range-bound since the beginning of November between these two focal zones. And at this point, the window is open for perhaps another test of these highs. Now, although the 71 to 72 area is still on our radar, a closer look at the BPX suggests that we are currently seeing a test of a natural retracement level measured off of the most recent downward move, and a fail to move higher will support the likelihood of a test of that 64 to 65 support level. And finally, the AUX, the U.S. versus the Australian dollar, declined to a support level identified between the 143 and 145 pair values and has managed to rally moderately. Now, although overhead resistance is identified back within that 150 to 152 focal zone, there does appear to be some apprehension as Thursday and Friday's close suggests indecision towards retesting this level. Now, a break down to a lower pair value range will likely see a test of that 133, 135 box. Let's take a look at some of our key points. First of all, our bigger picture thesis continues to be tested as the U.S. dollar weakens to major support levels this week. We had a strong recovery. However, we are open to the possibility for further declines as the dollar index reflects a momentum shift towards the downside on our weekly chart. The CDD, BPX, and AUX tested key support levels and bounced strong, suggesting the possibility for yet another test of their pair value highs. We are watching the 115 area on the CDD, the 64 area on the BPX, and the 143 area on the AUX very closely. A break of these levels to the downside respectively could support a further decline in these pair values. The EUI made an aggressive move to the downside as expected this week and is now doing a natural retracement. Expect some consolidation this week in the current focal zone. A lot of technical repair work is needed to restore confidence to the upside. Finally, the YUK traded into our 88-89 focal zone. We are expecting a natural retracement before any continuation of the current trend to the downside. Look for support back in the area of the 88-89 focal zone, a break of which will open the window for further declines. This has been your ISE FX Options Outlook for December 22nd to the 28th. I've been your host, Jason Ayres, founder and president of OptionSource.net. And from all of us to all of you, season's greetings, and we'll see you here next week.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Jason Ayres and to sign up for free FX Options trade alerts, just visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE FX options, including our weekly webinar series, visit us at www.ise.com/fx. ISE FX options can easily be traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.